Hello, everybody. This is a review for the movie Emma, directed by Autumn Day Wilde, and starring Anya Taylor Joy. Um, Following the antics of a young woman, Emma Woodhouse, who lives in Georgina and Regency era England, and occupies herself with matchmaking in sometimes misguided, often meddlesome fashion in the lives of her friends and family. It's just a little synopsis of what the movie is about. Um, so my thoughts on this movie actually kind of developed over time. I thought the best one in the movie was the friend. Start with what I liked. I thought the best one in the movie was the friend. Set out to get married. She was likable and relatable in her naivety and warm-hearted in nature. I thought Emma was good, but I wished her actions had bigger repercussions. By that I mean, I wish that there was maybe a scene where her actions really affected the lives of her friends in a much bigger way that was romantic. I understood that the way that they showed her the aha moment that she had in the movie was a big moment, and it did work, but I just thought it would have been better if it had something to do with her romantic meddling rather than just something she kind of just blurted out. In the movie, she blurted out something that she shouldn't have blurted out, and that's kind of what led her into realizing that she's probably not the best person. Whereas if she would have done it in a way where you've seen all these people that she has completely changed who they should be with, you would think that those relationships would kind of show her that maybe she shouldn't be doing what been doing so far. But either way, I understand she learned a lesson. It makes sense. I just felt like maybe the relationships should have shown her, not just some random blurting out. I liked the father as well. He was supposed to be this very rich, extremely rich guy who only cares about what he cares about. He doesn't care about anything else. He's stuck in his own ways. You can't tell him anything. He loves who he loves, and he doesn't love who he doesn't love. It's just he focuses on whatever he wants to focus on, and that's kind of how he does things. He was great because in the movie there's this running joke that he has, which really, really works for his character, considering how he's supposed to be so stuck in his ways. And I think this was just a great joke to show exactly how that is. But I think it's also amazing how later on in the movie, when he's supposed to be an actual father, he can be a father. He can be a dad. He can be really cool and really fatherly, and do things for his daughter, and even goes outside his way for something that he didn't want to do. He does it anyway, just so his daughters can be happy. I thought that was a really good and really touching moment, and I thought the guy who played him spectacularly. I think it was wonderful. I felt that there was a part that dragged a bit, but overall, I thought the movie was a pretty good follow through. I think as far as pacing is concerned, I can't lie, there was a long time of me just kind of watching setup, watching things that were going to happen that didn't happen until later on, the dominoes didn't fall until later on, and that's kind of what you were waiting for the entire time. And that's why I say I'm kind of disappointed in the fact that she didn't have more repercussions. Emma, at least, didn't have more repercussions. The fact that I'm sitting here watching her manipulate these people and change up who they should love and who they shouldn't love, and nothing's working out, but it's like small little not workouts. It's not like, oh yeah, some big thing that shows her like, holy crap, maybe you should really, really stop. And because we never have that moment romantically, it's I don't know, it's something about it that seems a little off. But I mean, I'm not a writer, I'm not a director, you know, they and my eye for movies isn't the best, so that idea definitely changed after a long time of thinking about this movie. I'm just showing you some notes that I had before I actually thought a little bit more about the movie, and I'm gonna say a little bit of stuff that I think afterwards. Not to say that this movie isn't funny, but I would say that this movie is more of a drama than a comedy. I would definitely say that I cared way more about the drama than I did the comedy. I was in a crowd full of people who were kind of like me. There was one couple in the crowd that loved it, adored it. Every single joke they got, they screamed. And it made me realize that this is just a huge teen drama TV show, because they were going back and forth about every single little thing that happened in this movie as if it was a TV show. And I thought it was so funny because technically that is what the movie is based off. The Clueless TV show is actually based off the book, which is also based off this movie. And so it just makes sense that it would seem so much like a TV show. Saying that, I also thought that the drama was entertaining and different, and I thought that the characters were pretty great. I do wish that that I would have known their situations a little bit more. For instance, there is a character that is supposed to be a woman who used to be of high society, but now she is broke and is struggling. And even though she is struggling, they still add her into the high society because she didn't do anything wrong. You know, she's still a really, really good person. So they let her still be involved. And I did not get that at all when watching this movie and seeing her character and hearing her character when she's first introduced. So because of that, when you finally, she's the character that Emma does something extremely wrong to that she shouldn't have, and so she gets kind of reamed out for it. And so that's when you find out that she's broke and all this stuff. I did not know before that moment that she was like that was her situation. I'm not saying that it took away from that scene at all. The scene was still really good because I still understood what happened. But I'm just saying that a lot of dialogue, because it's old English, it's hard to get exactly what's going on at all times. But I think that's more to do with the fact that it's a period piece, not necessarily due to the fact of the dialogue itself or anything that the director or the characters or anything like that could have done. So I think I'll just chalk that up to the way the movie is, not necessarily the problems with the movie. But I still thought it needed to be addressed. Um, okay, so that was my thoughts first seeing the movie. My thoughts afterwards, after I got some time to really think about the movie and mull over it, I took a nap and everything. I realized that this movie was about self-image versus actual image, right? Who you really are versus who you want to be. And I should have realized this from a specific character, because Emma sees herself as someone who is the quintessential high society person. She's the person that plays piano and is really, really extremely good at it and sets people up, but she doesn't want to get married. But at the same time, she's kind, even though she's extremely rich. And she's seen as all these things from folks who don't know her, right? And there's only really one person that really, really knows that, she's not kind. She just likes to play kind because it's better to seem kind than it is to actually be kind. That she's really just manipulative and bored, so she manipulates people to try to see if she's right or not. She tries to make herself seem like she has a talent that she doesn't really have. And the interesting thing about that is that they show it in a specific character, a character who is her rival without actually explicitly showing that she's her rival. They're kind of just back and forth without actually showing that they are rivals. Like, they know they don't like each other, but it's almost as if they don't know why, right? This character is everything that she wants to be. She is literally the image that she wants her to be. She is actually kind and cares about people. She is actually talented, and she is a person that is completely self-sufficient. For instance, Emma acts like she takes care of her father, like her father really extremely needs her. But her father is fine. He has servants, he has all sorts of people around that could help him with anything. She's not there because her father needs her so bad. She's there because she hasn't married yet, and she wants to be married, but she doesn't want to seem desperate, so she stays with her father until that actually happens. And she just puts on the front that her father desperately needs her and couldn't do anything without her. But in the beginning of the scene, you see that he could easily do without her, without a doubt. I thought that aspect of the movie was extremely interesting, and I thought it played pretty well for what it was, because I think I understood it more when I saw it from that perspective. Now, the scene where she really messes up hits even harder, and you see that it's finally, the curtains are down, and you finally see who she really is versus who she wants to be. In the end, she becomes the person, I think, that she wants to be. But, of course, she has to go through some stuff in order to be that person. I like the movie. When I first watched it, I would probably give it a C. But I was giving it a C because I didn't really understand the themes of the actual movie. Now that I understand the theme of the movie, I would probably give it more of a B plus. I think it's still entertaining no matter what, because you do understand everything that happens. I think it's a pretty focused movie. I don't think there's one point that deviates from the actual theme of the movie. But I do think that the movie is it's a bit long. It took me a little time to really get the themes, and as far as like comedic wise, I didn't laugh. But comedic is subjective, so I wouldn't hold that necessarily too much against it. Yes, I would hold it against it somewhat because it is supposed to be a comedy, but I wouldn't hold it too much against it. I would say it's a solid B plus. I think anybody who I would say for a fact that anyone who loved Clueless and anyone who loved those CW teen dramas, I think they would really, really like this movie because it is a 2 hour TV drama about, high school bullcrap without it actually being from high school, which is pretty good. I enjoyed this movie. I think everybody else would enjoy this movie, or at least a certain demographic will enjoy this movie. Yeah, that's all I really have to say about this movie. I hope you go out and see it. I hope you enjoy it. And I'll see you later. Bye.